What's up, Topeka? Welcome to the I'm from Topeka podcast, broadcasting straight from the
Southwest to the east side.
We're here to bring you the stories, people, and the pulse of Topeka. Whether you're a longtime resident or just curious about what makes the city tick, we've got you covered. And today we got another very, very special guest.
We got, this man right here, first of all, Mr. Carter. He's a barber. He was a dental assistant. The man's a pastor. Just an overall inspiring human being in general. And I'm blessed and honored to have you sitting with us in his brand new barber school that he's working on opening up right now. So yeah, everybody give it up.
Let's go. Let's give a round of applause, man. Let's go. Yeah, Mr. Carter, man. Hey, man, it's an honor to have you on the podcast, man, and opening up your barber school to us, because this place, first of all, let's just say this place is beautiful. Like, you coming in here and doing all the work, I'm not going to take credit for what you've done because I want you to tell everybody, but you did your thing in here. So man, just tell them who you are, man, and, you know, like a little bit about how they know you here in Topeka and everything about yourself.
Yeah. Born and raised in Chicago, the Chicago kid. I moved here my early teen days. Maybe I was probably like 13, 14 years old when I first moved here. Went to middle school here, went to high school here. I went to Chase Middle School.
Okay.
Shout out to Chase Middle School.
There you go.
Shout out Chase.
Graduated from there. Yeah, I went to Topeka High School. Shout out to
T-High. Hoy, hoy, mighty Troy. Let's go. Let's go.
T-High out.
We just plugging in with the Trojans, baby.
Right?
Let's go.
Went to Topeka High. And then from there, I jumped off into doing music. I'm a big music fan too as well. I write music. I did produce my own music and stuff like that. I did that for quite some time. Then after that, man, I jumped off, got married, got into a relationship, my first relationship. That didn't go too well. We ended up separating after that, got some children. I've been in Topeka, in and out of Topeka, man, for the last maybe 25, 30 years.
Okay.
I've traveled around. I've been to a few places, few cities, and did my music here and there, that kind of thing. Was a street runner, all that kind of stuff, man. So, I don't want to get off into that.
Yeah, no, you don't got to do too much about that. I mean, but it's still about who you are. You know what I mean? It made you who you are today. Yeah, for sure.
100. Yeah, and I left that out of the introduction. Sorry to interrupt, but and not to interject, but yeah, rapper, musician too. And that's kind of another connection point we had. Yeah,
that's how we got connected.
For sure.
So really, why we brought you on the podcast is we want you to drop your hottest 16. No, I'm just kidding.
Run the beat. Shall I run the beat? Hey.
No, we're just kidding.
We're going to do that on another number.
Yeah, there we go. We're going to drop it.
We're going to need a 16 to 32.
Yeah.
16 is not going to be enough for him.
Yeah, it's not going to be enough. Yeah. But no, man. So you've been here 25, 30 years, you said, so Topeka resident, man, and it's really about everything that we got going on with the podcast. I know you've seen the I'm from Topeka series, the I'm from Topeka song. Obviously, you're featured on the song,
Absolutely.
But one thing I didn't know is you were so deep into barber, and you have a barber school. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know anything about that. So when Mike told me, he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna go shoot the haircut scene at Carter's, he's in the song," and I'm like, "What? Like, where is this at?" Like, I didn't even know you was here. So, that's what you're doing in cutting hair and changing people's lives, because I truly feel like a haircut can make or break somebody for sure.
Absolutely.
Is very positive. And so, kind of, what really got you into cutting hair?
My shout outs to my cousin Lamont.
Okay.
I want to get sentimental because he passed away from cancer. Him and Jawan Howard was really, 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 really good friends. And they were so good friends that that my cousin Lamont, he ended up as an agent for the NBA.
Okay.
Yeah, he'd been as an agent in the NBA. But needless to say, when I was a young man, I didn't come from humble beginnings. You know what I mean? So my cousin Lamont, he would cut my hair all the time. You know what I mean? He would give me haircuts all the time. So I became interested in the fact that, that he was so good at cutting hair.
Yeah.
Mine's at that fact.
Yeah.
So shout outs to my cousin Lamont. Juice, aka
Lamont.
Juice.
Shout out to Lamont.
Juice Carter, rest in peace.
R.I.P.
But that man showed me how to do a ball fade with the shoestring.
Oh.
So Yeah,
Yeah.
shoestring.
That's a different level of talent right there. Okay.
Yeah, so he said, man, this is how you gonna do it. You're gonna take the shoestring, you're gonna put the shoestring around your head, bro. You know what I mean? You're gonna start from the bottom, you're gonna ball it out from the bottom and take the shoestring off, and then you're gonna blend it out from the top. From the bottom to the top.
Yeah.
And that's originally how I started off cutting hair. I wasn't good at it right off at the forefront of the whole thing, man. So I got better over time.
Sure.
From 9, man, I actually started everything like at 9. I started writing music at 9. I started cooking at 9. I have a thing for cooking too, so I can't throw down in the kitchen. My family can attest to that. But I started
Chef
cooking
Carter.
at 9. I started writing music at 9, bro, and I started cutting hair at 9. So by the time I was 13 and 14, bro, I was pretty decent at those three elements that I had acquired in my upbringing.
For sure, man. That's awesome. That's starting from a shoestring. That is crazy. I've never heard anything like that. But I mean, it tells you like how to blend it and stuff. So that's really dope. That's really unique too. And you said your cousin was NBA. Like
he was an agent for the NBA.
Agent for the NBA.
And him and Juwan Howard were best friends.
Juwan Howard, wow. Crazy. Now
Washington Bullets.
Washington Bullets.
Yeah, he was the agent for Washington.
That wow. Yeah, that takes it back. It takes it back for sure.
Yeah.
But so start at the age of 9. Like, what did you start cutting other people's hair at the age of 9, or just mainly working on yourself?
Own. I was while I was on the backside of the mountain.
Yeah.
I was honing in on my craft. Just trying to make me look good. You know what I mean? I'm a big advocate for myself. You know what I'm saying? If I don't look good, then I feel away. You know what I mean? So and again, I came from humble beginnings, man. So and my mom wasn't taking me, or any of my parents was taking me to barbershops and stuff like that. I really didn't get no exposure into the barbering world until I actually got to Topeka, where I had the opportunity to be a kid. I got an opportunity to be a young man here. When I was in Chicago, I didn't have that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? To grow up and be a young man. So I was on grown status when I was back home in Chicago. But needless to say, so I didn't come from humble beginnings, man. So it to hone in on the craft, not perfect it, but to hone in on the craft. I didn't start cutting hair until maybe at 14, 15 or something like that. People started recognizing my haircut.
Yeah.
Who did that fade on you?
Yeah.
Who did that on you?
Yeah, I said, wait a minute. Turn around. Hold on a second.
Man, I did.
Yeah.
Hey, can you cut me up like that?
Yeah.
So that's actually how that got started.
Yeah, that's what's up. That the walking billboard, man. That's the best marketing. You know what I mean? The walking billboard.
It is, and that's what, man. When I remember first, because we're sitting in your barber school, but like right next door, your barber shop at Precision Studios. I remember first coming over there, and I don't know what it is about my hair. There's a lot of, shout out all the great barbers here in Topeka.
Absolutely.
Man.
There's a lot of great barbers.
For sure. There's so many. And it's growing too. But for some reason, like I'd come in and it just felt right. I remember you'd be burning the incense in the old building, man. And there would always be, you'd have the whiteboard in there, and that always stuck with me. And you'd always have something like the verse of the day, the word of the day, something that like I'd be sitting there and you can't ignore it. You can for a little bit, but my eyes would always catch it. And then I started like realizing that routine every time I came in, and I appreciated that. And just the type of conversation we'd have. But what kept me, what I always got to go back to is when you told me, you said, I cut hair to match your personality. I was like, I'm never going nowhere else. I ain't never had no one tell me something like a barber say that. And that just showed me like your level of passion for this is you've mastered that. And it means a lot to you. So that's what's always stood out to me.
Absolutely.
For sure about you.
So generally when I do have somebody in a chair, it's me on the other side of the chair.
Yeah.
So because to treat me well, it's to treat my neighbor well. And I don't want to get off into the text, but the text says to love your neighbor as yourself.
Absolutely.
Amen.
So to love me is to love you. You know what I'm saying? To love you. And if I don't love me, then there's no way that I can love you. You know what I mean? And and listen, I love me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? My love is way expensive, bro.
Yeah.
So to do a service on someone, or to present, to be just a service to anyone, I do that person as if it was me on the other side of that whole thing.
Yeah.
Whether if it's cutting hair or shaking hands or giving a hug or just being straight encouraging.
Yeah.
Giving a little word of encouragement.
Yeah.
You know, I try to do that as if, you know, some how would I want to be treated? You know, how would I want somebody to, you know,
and I can tell
to
it's felt.
It's
felt. And that's what, and even like, and then another thing is like the quickness. Like, I know you've, you know, it's in the name Precision. Like you mastered, cause I come in there, man, and 20, you can get it done in 20 minutes typically, a fresh fade or less. Exactly. But it's not, it don't look like it was rushed.
Yeah.
It's like
7 minutes to be exact.
And that's how I know.
7 minutes.
Seriously though, he's timed it. That's how I know.
Yeah.
Like it takes time to master this type of craft though, and you really have put that time in and the faith behind that, and it's grown into a whole barber school now. So man, inspiring for sure.
That whole thing didn't start off like that, and this did not start off like this.
Yeah, give us a background about that. You know,
I was in Chicago at the time before I even got here. And I had my own place out in Chicago by the name of Straight Edge Barbershop.
Okay.
So Straight Edge Barbershop and Precision Studios. Precision Studios is really an umbrella for the umbrella is Straight Edge, and Precision Studios is underneath that umbrella. Straight Edge is not active, it is not registered, but it is still a part of how Precision Studios got started. So when I got here, I didn't even know I was working for someone else at the time, and that situation didn't work out too well. So I started looking for locations and stuff like that. But I was back and forth from Chicago to Kansas trying to find a place to franchise. I wanted to franchise Straight Edge Barbershop from there to here. And then when I started that, I left my shop in Chicago, Indiana to be exact, with some people who didn't take care of it too well. So I had to shut that thing down and then start over from scratch. And it has always been my goal to have a school and to have other locations floating around in 8 different states. So that is the ultimate plan, is to have 8 different locations in 8 different states. I haven't got there just yet, but the hub of the seed of that was Indiana.
I got you.
I got here, found this location. My wife actually found this location, and it was under construction with another barber that was there. Actually, and this barbershop that's next door to this place where we're sitting at right now has been in the neighborhood for over 40 years.
Oh wow.
By the name, the barbers that owned that location was Greg and Ken. And they were in the White Lakes Plaza at the time when White Lakes Plaza was open on the south end of White Lakes Plaza.
Yeah.
And I was only a kid when they had that location over there.
Yeah.
I was a young man. So, but then that White Lakes Center started to go down. They moved from over there. They came over here, bought this plaza. This plaza its original name on this plaza is Acapulco Plaza.
Oh, okay.
So this is the Acapulco Plaza.
Okay.
This whole building.
Yeah.
Then I met the guy that owned this location, got the location, worked in that location for about 4, maybe 5 years, up until I started renovating the place. That was like pandemic, during the pandemic time. I was going to start renovating right at the time the pandemic started. That kind of took me down a little bit. So it took me a little longer to get to this phase of having a school and a shop in the same location. That was the goal.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be just that. Once the pandemic was almost through, I started knocking walls down without any experience. I have no
remember.
experience.
I was sitting in there getting cut and watching, seeing it.
Yeah, with the walls down.
Yeah.
And I had it down to the
whole
studs.
process.
Yeah.
Every wall was down to the studs.
That's
I
wild.
built the whole place.
Yeah.
I mean, with no experience at all.
Wow.
I had a buddy come in and help me out to help get the place back together. You know what I mean? And it saved me a lot of money by switching to Geico.
Yeah, there you go. Saved a lot of money by switching to DIY. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Geico. If you feel like it, man, throw some bread. We'll throw you in the podcast or
Shout out
something.
to Geico. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I knocked that place down, and then in the process of knocking that place down, I came over here and purchased this place. This place did not look like this at all. It had walls up, carpets on the ground.
I saw that too.
The paint was white, but I came in and changed everything up again with no experience at all.
Yeah.
And that's how the whole thing got started. It actually took me a while to change the name on the plaza when I first got here, because someone else had a bill that they wanted me to pay for. and I refused to pay for the bill.
Yeah.
And I stood my ground, and then ended up, getting my own name.
Yeah,
that was a process, right? That was definitely.
Studios.
Yeah,
okay.
man.
That's wild. You said you DIY'd. So
Yes,
what
sir.
was that? What, were you nervous going into all of your renovations, or how was that?
Then I really didn't have no self-confidence in myself. I didn't have any anything self-confident, anything self-motivated, anything that has to do with self. I didn't think I was enough to do anything.
For sure.
So to really step out on faith, it brings a whole nother meaning to you walking into uncertainty.
Yeah.
So at that time, I had to embrace uncertainty. And when I did that, everyone else around me couldn't believe from the time I got started all the way up to the end result that it turned out that it looked the way it did without having any experience at all. So I mentally had to encourage myself. Excuse me.
Yeah.
No, man, you're good. You're good.
You're good.
We're here for it, man. You're all good. Let it out.
It's part of the
I had
process.
to encourage myself because it was tough. It was tough to do it with little money, with little resources. And so, like I said, I just stepped out there and started knocking walls. And I said, man, I got to get this thing done. Regardless if there was anybody around to help me or to get the thing accomplished.
Yeah.
I'm sentimental because it hits home.
Yes.
It hits home for me because I was the kid who didn't believe in himself.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started knocking those walls down, and to look at it, I sat back and did this very same thing. And I was grateful and thankful at the fact that I did something that I had never done before.
Yeah.
And to get to the place of a thing that you don't see, you have to do something that you've never done. And I did that. And from that point, I moved from there to here. When I got to this part over here, man, my confidence was through the roof.
Yeah.
And could nobody tell me nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Could nobody tell me nothing at all. And it was just like, man, if I got that done, you know what I'm saying? I could get anything else done. And from that point on, I stopped doubting myself. I stopped feeling like I couldn't accomplish a thing.
Yeah.
And anything that came my way, whether if it was hell or hot water, whether if it was the fire, I was going to walk through the fire and I was going to get that job done.
Yeah, and
that's
you did.
Exactly what I did.
And you did.
Yeah.
And here we sit. And here we sit. And what I love about that, Carter, is everyone that we've talked to, including me, including Tevin, like during that time, because I remember coming in here and getting cut, and I could just having those talks with you, like when things were real shaky and you almost lost everything during that time.
I did.
And talking to people, like I hear the same thing, especially from believers. It's like the pivot towards faith. Like I had nothing, and I literally, that's all I had was faith during that time. And when I leaned heavy on that, here we are. That's what got us here. And man, I remember that time period though, and I knew, I also knew you had that strong faith. That's why it kept me coming back to you, because I was praying for you too. And like, man, I know I could see it happening. And that type of perseverance right there is what can really carry us through those times. And you persevere, man. I just want to let you know I see it, and you have inspired me, man, like in every way. So thank you just for persevering.
To look at things hindsight 2020, I'm still grateful at that fact that I even got this far.
Yeah. You have to be. I mean, you have to be throughout that whole process. One wall, what seemed impossible, that one wall ended up turning into 20 walls, and and you going through that process to where you don't have the confidence in yourself. Right. But now, man, you're opening up a barber school to where people are confident that you're going to help them get to where you're at, or you're going to help them exceed and soar throughout their barbering career, So, I mean, it speaks into faith for sure. Because if you wouldn't have had that faith, or if you just would have had that faith and you didn't put no work behind it, then,
exactly.
I mean, where would you have been? Yeah.
Boom. That's it.
You know what I mean? But you had to have the faith and also have the vulnerability to be like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna do it. I gotta get it done.
And then you could have waited. You could have said somebody's gonna come help at some point, but you didn't, and you
It's huge.
Hit that wall.
One thing that stands true to it all is being relentless.
Mm.
And I took a relentless mindset by any means necessary, because I knocked on doors, and and every door I knocked on was like, man, it's gonna cost you this, this,
Yeah.
this. And you know what I'm saying, I didn't even realize that it was gonna cost me, really financially, but I didn't readily realize that it was gonna cost me emotionally and psychologically and mentally. I didn't see that coming. So I had to do work on myself mentally, psychologically, and emotionally to really even to be standing in this place. You know what I mean? So and that's what most people don't want to get involved with themselves.
Yeah.
I had to date me. I had to go and date.
It's more
me.
than just some construction
It's
you had to
more than
learn.
just
Like
going
it's
in
a
and
lot.
knocking the wall down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's about looking in the mirror and and telling yourself that you are more than enough.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. Amen.
Yeah, amen to that.
It takes that confidence, so and you wouldn't be here without that confidence, and without having that faith throughout the whole process. Because like you said, you could have lost it all, but through that journey, you showed how tough you are, through the resilience, how mentally strong you are, through that whole process, and it's a beautiful sight to be able to be in here and see the progression of where it's come from. I wasn't here when, like you said, Mike was in here, and it was just the studs in here, and you just seeing how it all got built out. But I feel like what you created is you can walk into this place and you can feel like, oh, this ain't no commercial. This ain't no commercial. Like this ain't no, oh, we're gonna give you $100,000 and go flip this. This is like, no, this is getting it straight off of, I painted these walls.
Like you're really gonna learn how to barber.
Yeah.
Like it has that feel. Like this is gonna be different. This is not like your normal thing.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to play with nobody's lives, bro. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I don't play with my own.
Man.
Yeah, you can't.
I don't play with my own life. So what, man? Listen, what y'all see on the other side of things is a reflection of what I thought.
Yeah.
This is my thought process.
For sure.
And so out of my thought process is a reality of how I live. I just don't live like this here. You know what I'm saying? I live like this at home. You can walk into my house and you'll have that same emotion or that same, oh man, it's like this is a place where this is great, this is fantastic. You know what I mean?
It's real authentic. You know what I mean? And it's better living like that, because you ain't gotta hide nothing. You ain't gotta fake. You ain't gotta be like, oh, this is who I am here, and when I go home, I'm completely different. And that shows and that shines through. It does.
I want to have a clear head about everything. I'm not clear about everything, but I do want to have a clear headspace about who I am, where I'm going, how I'm going to get there.
The most important thing.
That's the most important. And then the people that are connected to me, so the people that I partner with, the people that I move with, I need them to understand, and not just understand, but to know that to have a clear head, there's work that you have to do to do that, and you have to do that on a regular basis. You know what I mean? So I set the environment up to where the individual who is going to invest in themselves, that they can come into a space where they have security.
Amen.
And security is everything. To me. For me not to be secure is to not have balance, and to not have balance is to not have a great mental space,
foundation.
mentality.
Everything's shaky too.
And everything is off balance. So to get this far, and you shake my hand, you give me a hug, you become my friend, whatever the case may be. I did this on purpose. I did this intentionally. Intentional because this is how you get to success. It's not easy. It's going to cost a person everything, whether if you're doing music, clothing, you're walking the catwalk.
Man, it is though. Yeah.
Whatever the case, man. If you selling oranges on the corner, you got to do everything you got to do. You know what I'm saying? To get to this part of what you saw before you got started.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You ain't slipping and falling into success.
Oh,
no,
this
you're
ain't
not.
just happenstance.
This
Like we've been
overnight.
There's been processes, so much work to get here.
Yeah, people didn't see me at night. People didn't see me when I went home at night. People didn't see me when I was here till 11.
The
12.
only barber in there. I remember you were the only one cutting. The only barber.
The only one cutting over
That's
there.
it.
Yeah.
People don't get, but they see you now, and there's going to be people that might be like, oh, that's an overnight success. I hate the whole story of overnight success.
Yeah.
I hate that whole
That's a
thing to
lie.
where people think about like overnight success. Like people might see like what we got going on there. Oh man, they just did that. I'm from Topeka. Yeah. No, like this is years. Like
yeah, that's just the moment more people found out.
Yeah,
that's all that
exactly.
is. Just
It's
a moment
years
where something happened and a lot of people found out.
Yeah, you get
like,
the people get to see the end of the painting.
Yeah.
They don't get to see the beginning of the
Yeah.
painting. They don't get to see
when your brush broke 10 different times and you had to borrow other people's and you had to
paint.
You spill exactly.
You gotta go to the store and buy more paint because you accidentally bumped the
or with it being DIY, you gotta be, I got a little bit left. Let me mix some water in this. Let me, you know what I mean? Like that's
bleeding through. It ain't sticking. What's happening?
They don't see that
in your darkest hour.
Amen.
You understand what I'm saying?
Amen.
And to bring that point up, God does His best work in the dark.
In our lowest moments.
Yeah.
In our lowest
moments.
In the valleys.
In the darkest places.
Yep.
We are so afraid to walk in the darkness, and really darkness does not exist. Darkness is only the absence of light. So when you embrace that you think is going to destroy you, man, it is the power of who you are when no one sees you. When they see you crying, they don't see you when you wanting a hug or an embrace or a handshake.
Because you're feeding off of something that don't run out at that point. It don't run out.
It don't run out. When there's no one left and all of it is just you. You know what I'm saying? Even when your spouse, at night, you can be sleeping with somebody and still have that emotion of, man, I'm doing this all by myself. We're really
For sure.
not.
Yeah.
Well, and I love. Oh, my bad.
No, you're good. You're good. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, because I wanted, before I forget, like what you were talking about earlier when you were going through the tough time during COVID. When I was coming over there, and when you say you didn't feel confident, what I was taking from that time is I wasn't getting that from you at that time. I was feeling the spirit confidence, and I was like, I was sitting there thinking like, man, how is he still in here cut? How is he? Right. So what I was getting was the opposite. And that's what's crazy is like the fact that you were holding on to faith. I was feeling that part. I wasn't feeling your weakness during that moment. So it's powerful, man.
Almost. Yeah. So. But it shows, like you said, darkness is the absence of light. You know what I mean? Like that hits because, a lot of people are like, oh, it's dark. Well, you just got to be able to connect and be able to shine that. Yeah, exactly. You got to. That's all you have to do because
see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And sometimes and seeing the light is within.
Yeah.
It's internal. It's internal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not physical where you say, oh my God, I can see the light. No, it's that part that you have to wrestle with yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because all of us together have those dark moments and dark days and time where we don't feel like it, and time where we don't know where it's going, and time where we don't know how we're going to do it, and time I don't have it and I can't move it and I can't see it and I can't breathe it, and how I'm going to get there. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we don't know how to do what's next.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What's next? We don't fathom what's next. We don't play with what's next. We don't take that and sit down and say, okay, I'm finna get to next, but how am I going to get to next? And it's going to take me everything I got to get to next, whether if it's going to cost me $1 or a nickel or a dime or a penny, or if it's going to cost me time away from my family or time away from my friends. And I did all of that. You understand what I'm saying? I spent time away from home. I spent time away from people, from environments that can take my mind away from the end goal of being a blessing to someone else.
Yeah. Amen.
And you had to choose to do that, like you're saying, and that all played a part in carrying you to this right here where you sit. And man, that's what I'm saying. I love how you also brought up, you planted seeds years ago. Like, can you bring that up? Because I know we've had a couple conversations on the importance of season, timing with seeds, when to water these things.
Absolutely. Yep.
Like when it really comes to what you like, kind of the fact that you've been planting these seeds for years, and they've prepared you in the right ways in every way to get to this point.
Right. You really don't realize that there's fruit at the end of a seed.
Yeah.
You don't realize
like it's gonna produce something.
Yeah. So you'll take it, you throw it in the ground, and you can actually forfeit a seed if you don't have confidence in the seed itself. The seed itself, it has faith on its own. and we don't realize that. You know what I'm saying? Because the seed really has to go to a dark place.
Yeah.
God, like I said, God does his best work in dark places. We don't see how the seed takes root. We don't see how the seed then pops up through the ground. We don't see none of that. All we see is, we take the water, we throw in the water, we put it out there. The rain comes down, the sun hits it, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes if we don't put the seed down deep enough, it won't survive. You know what I'm saying? So you have to, again, go deep. You have to go deep within self to really produce the kind of fruit that's really in you from the jump in the first place anyway. So for you to say that you didn't see my tears, or you didn't see my hurt, you didn't see my pain, that's because when I went to bed the night before and I got up the next day with all confidence and with all strength and with joy that
kind of refreshed.
I got another day. I can do it again.
I can do it again.
I can do it again. I didn't get this done, but I did get that done.
Yeah.
And today I got a whole nother agenda.
Right.
So I'm gonna get this part.
I'm off fresh sleep. I'm get up. I'm gonna tackle it.
You know what I mean? So
I love that, man.
Talk about the seeds in your mind, how you planted, like where you wanted to see this growing through breaking all the walls down the other side. You being the only barber in there. Well, you have how many barbers over there now?
5.
You have 5 barbers over there now. So tell us that whole process on like when it came time when it's like, okay, I got this built. I got it looking the way I want it to look. Now it's time for me to open up to have people come in here, because we know like, well, we don't know. We know as business owners, but a lot of people don't know, like eventually the end game is you want to be able to build something to where you don't have to be the main one that's in there going and doing everything the whole time. You know what I mean? Like that, like you want to be able to open up the doors to where other people could come in, make money, make revenue, and you don't have to be there, the one opening the door, locking the door, doing everything all the time for the next 10 years. So how was that process?
That process was a mental strain as well. It was mentally taxing.
Sure.
Because what you see is the reality of it. You see, man, how long is this going to take to produce fruit? You know what I mean? You have the how long emotion. You have that how, man, I'm still not here yet. Yeah. Man, I should have been here.
That patience starts having to kick in.
Tomorrow. I should have been here like the other day. I should have been here like last night. You know what I mean? So I had to develop the difference between instant gratification and delayed gratification. And any farmer or any agriculturalist who knows anything about how a forest becomes a forest is you have to put on delayed gratification. You have to put it on.
Yeah.
You have to, and that's tough. That's tough to see your reality and then have to say, okay, I got to chill out. Yeah. Okay, I got to chill out. I got to chill. Because it really, when you're desperate, you'll kill a person when you're desperate.
Oh, for sure.
We've
talked about it. Yeah,
that's been getting revealed a lot. Like you know, keeping because that faith, that blurred line between having that strong faith and desperation can be right there.
It can be right
there.
In your face.
It's right there.
It's
always.
Right in your face. And
always.
The reality of it is, you know what I'm saying? Man, I want to go hustle.
Yeah.
I need to go stand on the block, bro, because this ain't coming fast.
Yeah,
you know
it's not here.
Hey, listen, I've been there. You know I've been there. I was that guy. I was the guy like, man, all my homies is looking good, bro. I'm finna hit this block. Hey, bro, give me a dub.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me get up real quick.
And come up on the dub. You know what I mean? Yeah. Next thing you know, I'm an 8-ball and an ounce kind of person. You know? An ounce guy. You know what I mean? But then on the flip side of that, that is not having your emotions and your intellectual side checked. You know what I'm saying? So I have to check intellect and I have to check emotion. And I had to do that in the face of my reality. Like, I'm not here just yet. So I'm gonna chill. You
gotta buy time in a way. It's hard to be in those I can't rush this at all. This is gonna take this much time and I have to sit in the season.
You have to come to an understanding. You have to come to an understanding that this is the process.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if you don't have process in mind, if you don't have the process of delayed gratification in mind, let me put it out like that.
Yeah.
If you don't have that in mind, then you'll do something out of an emotion. You understand what I'm saying? And it'll take down the whole house. You know what I'm saying? Reason being is because number one, I can't trust my emotion. My emotions is everywhere, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm in my head. There's 6,000 thoughts that goes through a person's mind every day, once a day, every day. 6,000 thoughts. Boom, 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 boom. My mind is firing. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm just trying to catch one.
Yeah. And I got bipolar 2 and ADHD, so you know what I mean, like that. 6,000 is like 60,000. Yeah. So and it's hard not to act on. Yeah, it's hard not to act on emotion. You know what I mean?
You know
Like,
what I mean? So you would jump out and you'll say, "Man, I'm finna do this," and boom, and all of a sudden, your life then becomes a reflection of that you decided right there in the instant. You know what I'm saying? I can go from zero to jail time in an instant.
Man, no, that's serious. Anybody can, man.
Anybody can.
Anybody, yeah.
One
So
decision.
if you don't, here's the key: self-control. I had to learn self-control, bro.
be still, man. It's one of those be still.
I had to learn-
Yeah.
That's the word I'm looking for. I had to learn self-control.
Yeah.
You know
And
what I
that's
mean?
We're our worst enemy. Like we gotta keep ourselves out of our own ways.
Man,
Like
that's-
straight up.
You do.
Up. And if I didn't have self-control, I didn't have self under control. And to go through that fight, that was my biggest fight through the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? For self-confidence and for self-motivation, for we have to do that. We have to celebrate ourselves. And when we don't celebrate ourselves, bro, we end up in depression, we end up angry, we end up mad, we end up upset, and we take that same anger and that same bitterness and that same problem, we take it out on each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now we have a whole neighborhood full of people who is mad, upset, and angry because they didn't take the time out to say, okay, man, I gotta get self under control.
Under control. Yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
man, what I'm hearing too, and like what I love when we talk to Coach Tyrell, like it's kind of reminding me of what we were talking about with when he coaches the players. He's like, I'm not coaching, I'm coaching. If I can get to the man first, I'm getting the play.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm hearing from you is just like the most important thing, like outside of what our job descriptions are, what like whether it's barber, musician, whatever it is, if we are keeping ourselves as humans, as men, if we're keeping ourselves like starting off the day, connecting with the spirit and things like that, then the other things are gonna I think smooth out and kind of. But as soon as that starts to go away, like we're not making sure we're spiritually healthy, number one, and I think everything else falls below that. Then things will become shaky.
For sure. So how was that leading into issues? I mean, if you had any issues, not to necessarily put them on the forefront, but any issues with like barbers, trying to bring on the right team, because it takes the right team for you to grow and for you to grow from there to grow to here.
Absolutely.
How was that, understanding like, okay, maybe they're just having a bad day, or they're just sitting here thinking that just because they got a barber chair that they're going to get customers right off the jump. And it's not like that. How was that coaching them and understanding that as you coach somebody else through that process?
Again, it falls back into having some real good self-control and having a sense of delayed gratification, because anything that comes too fast, it won't stand in the first place. But to relay that to a person who has come from a different walk from me, who was raised different, whose perspective is different, who has learning disabilities, or who has mental disabilities, or any kind of dysfunction. To relay that, it is to be grounded on every cost.
Sure.
So to go from barber to educator is still tough, because I have been barbering for years, and to make the transition, it is to go back into, okay, I have to wean myself off of this bottle. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm like a baby all over again, because this is brand new.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So to go from barbering and then to go to education, it is to be well grounded on the business side. You understand what I'm saying? On the business
Sure.
side of things. And when a person does not understand the business side of things, I don't care who you are, you won't survive.
Yeah.
You won't survive. A business won't survive if you're constantly working it. If you don't know the administrative side of it, if you don't know the HR side, if you don't know the PR side, if you don't know payroll side, if you, and all of that stuff comes into play. Now I have to become that person all at once, because I don't have a staff. I'm all alone on this side again.
Yeah.
It's not like how that was next door when I was all alone working it, trying to build it up, trying to pull money in, and focusing on balancing my books so that the lights can stay on.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I had to get a whole nother job, bro, to even keep that on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I worked the daytime job and I worked the nighttime job. My nighttime job was this altogether. I didn't get out of there, man, till 11, 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
From a 9 to 5. 9 to 5, 5 to 12.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So to relay that, man, it's tough to encourage the mind of a person when their reality is, I'm not enough.
Yeah. For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
But you're good. I want you to know that, like, you're naturally great at that. I don't know if you realize, like, you're very, just in talks, like, you're very encouraging. So what I was saying about Coach T, who we talked to, like, I know that you get to the person because I feel like you're gifted like that. And I think that's why, when you being a pastor and things like that, you have a gift of communication with that. And I think you're good at getting to the person. So getting to the barber is going to be a lot easier. You're a very good teacher. So I'm excited to.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what life holds after the fact, because I still have to face people head on.
Yeah.
And that is development. That is a part of me that I am becoming. You know what I'm saying? Even though I carry the title instructor, I am becoming one. And I have to be reminded about my Savior, who says a teacher is no greater than his servant, and a servant is no greater than his teacher. So I am both teacher and I am both student in the same state. So I have to develop the knack of being more quick to listen and slow to speak. You understand what I'm saying? So I have to develop a listening ear, whether if it's directly or indirectly. You know what I'm saying? So and I have to develop the skill to respond after I've heard a thing. You understand what I'm saying? And that takes skill. And I'm still becoming that person to where I can function, I can think, I can hear clearly, I can think clearly, and then speak clearly, and then respond
Yeah.
at the same time. So, but that transition, that is still a tough transition, because you know, I'm dealing with a community who's hurt.
Sure. Yeah.
Who's broken.
Yeah.
And the community that fails to realize that they're in a good spot to be broken. They're in a good spot to be bruised.
Yeah.
Because out of ashes comes the phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't kill the phoenix. It has resurrection power.
Mm-hmm.
So to articulate that, I'm still becoming.
Yeah. We all are. And for you to be humble enough to admit that, you know, at a spot where you're at right now, that's huge, man. And, you know, it's part of the whole process. Once we realize and we sit down and we understand that we're all becoming who we need to be,
Yes, sir.
and you're never going to be there, and you understand that mentally, because if you feel like, oh, I'm there, then where's growth at?
You're gonna lose the war.
Exactly. You know, where's your growth at? Where's your next step at? You know, it's day by day, inch by inch. You know what I mean? Like, it all adds up. You know, you're becoming who you need to be, but you're not there yet.
Yeah, I'm not there.
Yeah.
I haven't arrived yet.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm ever going to arrive.
No.
Because at every level, there's a devil for every level
Amen.
that you can accomplish. It's like
Amen.
graduating to the next thing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm over here. I'm a freshman all over.
Yeah.
So, and I'm looking for the day that I become a senior.
For sure.
Then when I hit senior, I have to turn around and become a freshman all over again.
Yeah.
And I'm not opposed to starting off at zero, because I started off from zero in the first place anyway.
Right.
So to say that that I can't make it. Oh, I can. I can.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying from the beginning in the first place. Anyway, after everything that that I thought that I could not do, and I couldn't do it within myself. Everything I thought about the God in me, the Christ in me.
Yeah.
To say that when I fall and I stumble that he was going to leave me. To have that thought process, I had those thought processes.
Yeah.
But to come to resolution, some resolution. My resolution is that it was right up under my nose in the first place anyway.
Yeah.
It wasn't far away from me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And most people think that is beyond my reach.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
It's
but
not.
that there's nothing that was beyond my reach. God was not beyond my reach.
Nah.
Christ was not beyond
It's like
my
it's
reach.
all right here.
The Holy
I got it
Spirit
all
was
right
not
here.
beyond my
That's
reach.
it.
My friends were not beyond my reach. My family and everything, to say the least. That but when I turned around and I really started walking on water.
Mm-hmm.
When God shows you, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. I love that, bro.
Yeah.
When I started walking on water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I started walking on water.
Yeah.
And then I thought, oh, I can't handle this. And then I started to sink.
Mm-hmm.
He just grabbed me and picked me back up and put me back on my focus.
Had that arm ready. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's powerful because, man, we've been having a lot of these types of conversations about faith. Faith has been at the forefront of a lot of these conversations lately. And, man, I know with me, with what I'm doing, the music career I'm working hard on and things like that, I know any goals or anything that I've set, and I truly trust God, he'll exceed that. He'll show, it'll be like, oh, wow. Yeah. Like, it'll shock you.
Yeah. Then, and then on the flip side of that, you definitely have to change your environment.
Oh, for sure.
I'm need myself.
That's important.
As a man, I am an environment.
Yeah.
So to love me, is to make sure my environment is clean. Make sure my space is clean. So I work on that as well. So my environment is everything. The love in the room is everything.
Yeah.
Walk through the door. When people walk through the doors, they can instantly feel the love is because I put love on it.
Yeah.
It's felt.
What I'm saying? So
it's so felt. That's why I love this group of men like Tev. It's so felt. It's a genuine feel, and that's why God kind of connected us. Like I've known him for years.
Yeah, for sure.
This kind of just started to happen, So
so to be encouraging to not just me but to others and people that are listening to the podcast or who's going to watch this podcast, to say that to say to yourself that you're not enough is abuse. It's abusive.
Mm-hmm.
And when you abuse yourself, you abuse others.
Yeah.
So you have to turn around and you have to again celebrate yourself and encourage yourself, and you have to get up and look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, "Oh yeah, I look good today."
Amen. That affirmation.
Yeah. We are what we eat. If we're feeding ourselves negativity, you're feeding others negativity.
You become that you say you are.
Mm-hmm.
And if you say I'm fat and ugly, then eventually you're gonna be fat and ugly.
Yeah, exactly.
If you say I'm fine and sexy, hey, eventually you're gonna be fine and
Words
sexy.
are powerful, man. Self-talk, it matters.
That you affirm, you'll start working toward that. And some people don't have the strength to really work toward that because they're really they're inside. They're turned their anger inside. They're angry,
Mm-hmm.
And that's where depression comes from. Depression is your anger inside out.
Yep.
But needless to say, to encourage somebody, stop telling yourself that you're not enough.
Yeah, you gotta start affirming it. Affirm the positivity
that you can.
Amen.
You got to think on things above and not beneath.
Yeah.
You got to think high and not low.
Yeah.
And then you have to start walking in those spaces.
Yep.
And then change your friends.
Yeah. Change your center.
Start walking with people who are self-motivated, who has self-confidence and their self-esteem and their self-confidence is through the roof.
Yeah.
And don't deceive yourself by thinking that you're not going to fall because
you're gonna fall.
You're gonna fall down.
You're gonna be hurt that much more when you fall.
Those falling moments are experiences to grow you and make you better.
Amen.
When gold goes through the fire, the structure of gold does not change. It always remains gold.
Amen.
So to give a shout out to Jill Scott to say, living my life like it's golden. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To living my life like it's golden, golden,
Yeah.
golden,
There it
golden,
is.
golden.
Hey, listen, y'all got it.
Yeah,
I'm
come
going
on
through
now.
the fire.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going through the
Refined.
fire.
Yeah.
If I'm living
Refined.
my life like it's golden, my life is going through the fire, but at the end of the day, I'm still going to remain gold. I'm not going to lose my structure. I'm just going to I'm going to develop into its purest state when the fire is at its highest.
There it is.
So, man,
Refined.
so I'm refined more so than consumed.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was something.
Come
Yeah, that
on,
was it.
baby.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm
That's it.
refined
Let's go.
more so than consumed.
Yeah.
So to be encouraging, to say,
Amen.
you know, you are in the refiner's fire. You're in his hands. And you can do anything you put your mind to. You know what I'm saying? You just have to go through the process. You
Got to.
You got to go through the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna take L's.
Gotta go
We
through
take
the
a
fire.
lot of losses, and that's
Yeah.
what gets
Go
us
through the
closer to the wins, man. If we can embrace those losses and learn from them.
Yes, sir.
And I'm beyond blessed. So, man, again, like just to be sitting over here, all the talks we had while you were cutting me up, and we're here. Like I was saying, when you cut me up earlier, it's all came for full circle. We're sitting in the school, and before we wrap this up, I want to shout out, if we can talk about it.
Yeah, let's go for it.
When is the grand opening?
The grand opening for Precision Studios Barber Academy will be July 8th at 11 a.m.
We'll be here.
Yep,
For
it'll be
sure.
July 8th at 11
Okay.
a.m. Greater Topeka Partnership will be here, and some other dignitaries will possibly be here. I'm trying to get in contact with El Ranchito. El Ranchito will be doing a taco bar afterwards. So after
let's go.
this whole ceremony and ribbon cutting ceremony and all that kind of stuff, we'll go over next door and go eat some tacos a little bit.
That's gonna be
And
fun.
then walk away, kind of happy and full.
Happy
There it
and
is.
full.
There it
Yeah,
is.
you know how to do
both
it.
doors, everybody will get to see the experience of having both doors open, because again, my shop is right directly across a door across from each other.
Yeah.
And you can come see what has transpired from our conversations and what the community is going to find out through this podcast. And then they'll get to see the story in full light. So again, that's July 8th, 11 a.m. I encourage everybody to come out.
We will be,
come celebrate.
for sure.
Yeah.
We're gonna be in here. Cool.
Have a good time.
What now if anybody wants to sign up for barber school, how do they do that?
The process for signing up for barber colleges is to walk through the door, come in, come sit down to me. We'll talk with me, not to me. Come sit down with me. Excuse me. And go through we'll talk about the application process and all that, what that looks like. We'll talk about financial aid and what that looks like. Right now, at this moment, I'm not eligible. Let me throw this out there. I'm not eligible for any FAFSA or financial aid or third-party institutions that will help the community to be financially well to accomplish this goal, to attend the goal. So it's pretty much a cash basis. So at the moment, right now, on that note, the tuition is $15,000, and I am actually looking for people to partner with that will help
Good scholarships.
mitigate the personal financial aid.
Okay, cool.
I am doing that as well. So I'm
What kind of help? What kind of help?
timelessly to try to figure out how to get people to this point, and to get their license for barbering or whatever the case may be.
For sure.
But on the flip side of that, I am scholarshiping the school itself for scholarshiping $5,000 per my first wave of students that come in for this year.
Okay.
So that first $5,000, I'm taking $5,000
Hey,
off.
that's very helpful.
Your gift or your percentage to Precision Studios is for the financial part is $10,000.
Okay. Okay.
So hope, and then $5,000 down for the down payment to get you through the door.
Yeah.
That kind of deal, and that $5,000 go towards your books, fees, application fees, and all that kind of stuff, man.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
It helps. It helps keep the doors open too as well.
For sure.
So yeah.
Word.
Okay.
And then so you have, and then I know you mentioned you have 3 students right now, and you're looking for how many for the first semester?
I can take. My capacity is 10.
Okay.
First, I have 5 chairs.
Yeah.
I can fill up the 5 chairs during the day. I have a daytime class going on. That's from 7:30 to 3:30, and then I have a part-time class in the evening time. That evening class is not set up just yet, so I get to go home a little early.
Gotcha.
As far as the school and the hours and stuff like that, but I do have three students at the moment. 2 of which they're preparing for their state board. They have transferred from another school to come here to finish out their hours here, so that they can get ready for their state board. So and then one is starting off from scratch, all the way from scratch.
Okay.
Hey, nice. Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
That's awesome. And now, where can everybody find you at on social media?
Yeah.
And
you can on social media. You can find me on Instagram at Precision _ Studios LLC. Again, that's Precision Studios _ LLC. You can also find us on Facebook at Precision Studios LLC. You can also find us on my .com. My .com is precisionstudiosbarbershop.com. There you can look, you can see everything that's going on there, updates and things like that, what we're doing.
Perfect.
And how we got to this point.
Cool.
We got marketing things going on that part, where you can, if you want your website built and all that kind of stuff, we are Precision Studios does have a part of playing with building websites and stuff like that, and marketing for you and all that kind of stuff. So you can go to precisionstudiosbarbershop.com to see that information, and you can see the school side there. All you have to do is go to the tab, hit the tab for the school side. It'll switch everything over to the school side, and you'll get to see what we're about, the mission statement, and all that kind of stuff there. And then we also have our app. If you want to download your app, we have our barbershop next door. Our app is at Precision Studios LLC in your Play Store, so you can download that app in your Play Store.
Super convenient, easy.
You can you can book your appointment with our barbers here that works for Precision Studios. We have a fantastic team.
Yeah,
I appreciate all of them. Shout out to Gareth. Excuse me.
Shout out there, Joe.
Shout out to Joe. Shout out
Xavier
to
too
Xavier.
over there cutting. Yeah.
Shout out to Santana. They awesome dope barbers.
For sure.
And my upcoming barber, shout out to Nate. They're doing a fantastic job.
Let's go.
They're trying to get to their next in their life.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So, and I'm just the model to help them get there. But again, that's precisionstudiosbarbershop.com on the .com side, Precision Studios Precision Studios LLC for Instagram, and then Precision Studios for Facebook. I'm also working on a TikTok.
Hey, there we go.
TikTok's
Precision Studios are everywhere.
Precision Studios.
Yeah,
I got a Snapchat for Precision Studios. But I forget the name. I just started that stuff up. So
yeah.
It's a lot. That's a lot too.
Social media is it's a lot. It's a lot for sure.
Yeah.
Well, man, we're honored, man.
Yeah.
Honored to have you on the podcast,
For
man.
sure.
And
without a doubt.
We're looking forward to the grand opening, and you open up and sharing your story and your walk with faith, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's huge. It's huge.
I'm so excited, man.
I'm honored that you guys came out. That you chose.
I've been waiting for this moment.
Yeah.
I'm so ever since you I'm serious, man. I've been waiting for this to happen for you to be able to experience it.
Yeah.
And man. So
this part of life, man, is going to open doors for so many people, on so many different levels. Whether if it's like on every scale, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to stick with barbering, but I'm guaranteeing for myself, not just from myself, but for others that when you leave out of here, you're gonna leave out of here a changed person.
For sure.
100%. You're gonna know business. You're gonna know how to run business. You're gonna know how to get to the business.
Well, I already know some of that just for sitting in the chair getting cut. So I guarantee you, if you're a student here, you're gonna be learning a lot of that. And then, real quick, my dude Tevin usually is good at these ending questions. So I just wanted to hit you, man, with just 3. If you would leave us with what would you say the top 3 things that have kept you, or 3 qualities when it comes to just finding success? Find it, like, where you sit right now. Like, what's the 3 things would you say that you really had to hold on to and focus on?
That's a good question. That's a real good question. So Precision Studios, and my mission statement is built around flexibility, dependability, and consistency. So those three things, those three principles, I stand by, and I have stood by those three principles. Those things have absolutely changed my life to see me and to hear me and to befriend me and to know me. Or you know, if you ever see me mad, if you ever see me upset, if you ever see me loving, if you ever see me giving, if you ever see me meeting you in a place where it actually steps into my time, you know, my personal time. I have been flexible. I have been consistent. I have been dependable on every aspect of my life. Whether if I'm mad, I'm consistent. Whether if I'm happy, I'm consistent. Whether if I'm here making money, I'm consistent. I'm also flexible. I'm flexible enough to where I am willing to change what I have going on to meet somebody else's need. Okay, and that still comes from loving your neighbor as yourself. Okay? And I'm dependable. And to say that I have exceeded those three, you can depend on me. You understand what I'm saying? You can depend on me holding your secrets. You can depend on me praying for you. You can depend on me.
Man, you've shown that too.
Yeah,
you know 100.
Or, you know, if you need something, if you need anything from me, whether if it's on the highest scale or the lowest slope, I'm flexible, I'm dependable, and I'm consistent.
I love it.
Let's go.
That's huge.
And that's what Precision Studios is all about.
I love that.
Being flexible, consistent.
Amen.
Awesome, man. Well, yo, man, we
Hey, man,
right
thank
at
y'all
about
for
an
having
hour.
me.
Yeah, man. Thank you
Great
again, man.
conversation.
Thank you. Yeah,
We love you.
for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Sorry for being sentimental.
Oh
this
no,
is
man.
what
That's
we're here for.
real man
Yeah,
cry,
man,
man.
this is
Yeah,
what we're
that's
here
it's
for.
it's emotional,
Yeah.
man. You're human, so I'm all for it.
This is my heart.
Yeah, amen.
So,
Amen.
We
Well,
love-
thank you
we
again,
love you,
man.
man.
Thank you.
yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
It's an honor.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Welcome to Topeka,
Dude,
baby.
Welcome
let's
to
go.
Topeka, baby.
We love our city, baby.
Yep.
Yeah,
Make sure,
Topeka.
man, if you haven't yet, go ahead, drop a comment below. Let us know what you
Absolutely.
loved about this conversation. If you need a
Absolutely.
fresh fade and you know
you
someone
right.
that does, come to Precision Studios. Great barbers
If you need
here.
a friend,
Yep.
All that.
If you need
Amen.
prayer,
Yeah.
If whatever you need. If you need somebody to talk to, if you're trying to expand your business, you know what I'm saying, you need some business
you right.
ideas. It don't necessarily have to be on a spiritual thing. It could be on some other type
Yeah,
of
you're
stuff.
right.
For
This
sure.
man's running a business, so
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
he
But
knows some
listening here,
things.
I'm much more of a friend than I am than anything else.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a friend,
Y'all make sure y'all hit that like, subscribe, and comment. Share it. Hit that bell notification.
Come on.
That way you never miss an episode.
Don't miss one.
I'm from Topeka, baby. We can't wait to see you at the next episode.
Love.
Let's go.
Topeka, baby. It's about the people, baby. Yeah. I love my city, baby. From the north, south, west,